You really thought you could avoid me after school. You pathetic transfer trash. What's this? A notebook? Writing love letters to your dead grandpa?
Ren ripped the notebook from his hands, sneered at the scribbled diagrams, and threw it aside like garbage.
That diagram. Grandpa's secret stance. He said it could break any defense.
Before his mind could catch up, his body moved. Right foot found a wooden practice cone. Left leg bent, arms spread wide, a perfect mirror.
You think a dumb pose will save you? I'll break you.
Daiki exploded into motion. A step over so fast it blurred, twisting his body like a reed in a storm. Ren lunged into empty air. He hit the ground, cleats scraping, his arrogance shattered. A short gasp from the onlookers.
I just followed the movement. How did that come out of me?
It's not any registered style. Just, what are you?
The Academy Masters froze the footage at the exact moment. Daiki's body twisted. Silence filled the boardroom. Their computer cross-referenced the stance. A match, mirror read. Forbidden style, last active user Satoshi Hoshino, deceased. By midnight, an emergency alert buzzed on every student's phone across the academy. Notification. Use of mirror read is banned. Any practitioner will face immediate expulsion and legal review.
Expulsion? For a move that felt so natural. What have I stumbled into?
He stared at his grandpa's notebook. The diagrams suddenly looked less like scribbles and more like a code.
Don't take those doodles seriously, Daiki. Just my silly old habits from decades ago.
But Daiki couldn't resist. He stood in the cramped room and awkwardly mirrored another stance from the page.
Grandpa wasn't a senile fool. He was hiding a master-level style, and now it's flowing through me.
He slid the notebook under his mattress, but his hands trembled. The pull to train again before sunrise was already consuming him. Daiki crept onto the empty field. At 3 a.m., the moon was high. He opened the notebook and began.
My body's moving on its own. Every drill, it's like my muscles already know.
He pushed into a twisting spin, a deeper diagram. An icicle pierced his chest, sharp and brief.
Just a cramp, right? But it felt like something was pulled out of me.
By morning, Ren's voice dripped poison in the locker room. Daiki cheated. That was illegal tech.
The cafeteria went silent when I walked in. Everyone stares like I am diseased.
He ate lunch alone on a bench outside, the whispers carrying on the wind. That night, he pried at the notebook's back cover. A yellowed slip fell out. Grandpa's handwriting. The note read, "The reed bends but snaps without water. Stop before the well runs dry."
Stop before the well runs dry. Did Grandpa know this style would cost me something vital?
2 days later, Daiki's path to the dorm was blocked by 3 figures in white and red pro-ace kits.
Kaito, the lead pro-ace, stepped forward. You are the mirror read brat. Here's your choice. Fight me now, or we'll make sure you are expelled by sundown.
A crowd formed a ring. Daiki saw no escape. He nodded and stepped onto the field. Kaito tossed a football between them. The duel began. Kaito blitzed with registered speed.
His approach is textbook, but mirror read reveals every gap like a reflection.
Daiki flowed sideways, a reed bending. Kaito's tackle hit air. Daiki reappeared behind him.
Lucky dodge. Let's see you handle the pro-ace accelerated flurry.
Kaito unleashed rapid feints and stepovers, but Daiki moved with unnatural anticipation.
It's not reacting. The notebook rewired my instincts. I am dancing on strings.
Daiki launched the sequence from the notebook's final page. A triple feint, a spin, and a flick. Kaito crashed. The 2 remaining pro-aces charged without honor. But the mirror read adapted in real time. Daiki bent around the first, flowed past the second. A soft touch sent the ball between them, and they tangled. The crowd roared. 3 pro-aces on the ground. Daiki stood in the center, panting.
He didn't just defeat them, he danced through them like they were frozen in time.
Then Daiki felt it, a silver hook yanking inside his ribs. The cold coiled tighter than ever.
Not now. The crowd can't see this.
He's hiding something. That style, it didn't just win, it cost him.
Daiki turned and walked away before anyone could see his hands shaking.
Grandpa's note. The well is already draining. How many moves do I have left?
Daiki made it only a dozen steps before his legs buckled. He collapsed onto the grass near the equipment shed. They carried him to the infirmary. The academy doctor checked his pulse and frowned. The doctor shook his head. No physical injury, pure nervous exhaustion from overtraining. He needs rest, the nurse left. A moment later, Kotone slipped through the door, her white and gold gi catching the light.
You are Daiki. I saw your duel. I need to understand that style. It's unlike anything I've ever witnessed.
It's a banned style. Why would a crown princess risk everything for something that could destroy your career?
Because it's beautiful. And because I believe it can change football. Please, teach me the basics.
If I teach her, will it drain her life too? Or does the cost fall only on the one who memorized the notebook? Fine, I'll teach you. But only the first 3 pages. Promise me you won't go further.
Her hand met his, a silent pact. Kotone became his student, even as Daiki wondered if he had just passed on a poison. For the next week, they trained every afternoon. Kotone absorbed the basics with frightening speed.
This stance feels like water, Daiki. It doesn't fight, it flows around obstacles.
Daiki forced a nod, but the cold in his chest deepened with every demonstration he gave. At night, he slipped into the Academy's restricted archives, searching for any record of Mira Reed. A yellowed newspaper surfaced. Mira Reed, Grandmaster, vanishes. The photo was unmistakably Grandpa. The article read, Mira Reed's style, banned for draining the user's vital energy with each technique. Grandmaster Satoshi Hoshino disappeared the same day.
Draining vital energy. That's the cold. Every move cuts my lifespan shorter.
He folded the paper and slid it into his blazer. No one could know, especially not Kotone. The next day, Kotone executed a flawless Mira Reed spin. Daiki clapped, but his eyes held a shadow.
If I tell her, she'll stop for her safety. But if she learns more, will it drain her too?
Inside the boardroom, the masters clashed. One shouted, "Expel him for contamination." Another argued, "He's the greatest discovery in decades on the training field." Kotone attempted the advanced spin from page 2. Daiki moved to correct her posture. A sudden gasp. Daiki buckled, one hand clawing at his chest. Dark veins pulsed along his neck, then faded.
Those marks, they're not normal. This isn't fatigue. Something is eating him from the inside. Daiki, I saw your neck. Don't tell me it's just a cramp. What have you been hiding?
I overdid it. Mira Reed demands more than normal styles. I'll sleep it off. I promise.
He's lying, and I am a princess. I have access to the restricted archives. I'll find the real reason Mira Reed was banned.
She gave him one last look, then turned and walked toward the library alone.
She knows something. If she uncovers the full truth, she'll never forgive herself for asking to learn.
The boardroom door closed with a verdict. Daiki Hoshino would be placed under observation. One more incident would mean permanent expulsion. Despite the observation order, Daiki was granted special entry to the regional tournament. The first whistle blew. He flowed through the opening rounds like a ghost. Opponents lunged at empty space while Daiki reshaped the field. In the tunnel, after each victory, his hands would shake. By the quarterfinal, he leaned against the wall and gasped.
His skin is gray. Those elegant moves are costing him something precious. I can't just watch.
Daiki pulled a handkerchief from his pocket, wiped his mouth, and stared at the red spots. He shoved it away. In the quarterfinal, he executed a spinning flick from notebook page 6. The crowd erupted. Daiki barely stayed upright.
Daiki, stop. You are not okay. Look at your eyes. You are fighting death, not the opponent.
It's just dehydration. The next match is the semifinal. Let me through, Kotone.
He's lying again. That handkerchief. I saw red. I must find what the archives hide before it's too late.
Daiki limped toward the semifinals, one hand pressed against his ribs, the other clutching the notebook in his blazer. The semifinal crowd roared. Daiki's vision swam, but his body remembered the next diagram, page 7, the reaping crescent. He launched the move, a spinning strike that hooked the ball past a frozen defender. It worked. Too well. A crimson spray burst from his lips, speckling the grass. Daiki collapsed to one knee, the world a muffled roar. He won. The goal stood. But when he staggered into the tunnel, Kotone was already there, blocking his path.
Don't lie to me again. I saw the blood. Tell me the truth right now.
Mirror Reed. Every move drains lifespan. I have months left, but I can't stop now. The man who banned it, the one who destroyed Grandpa, will be in the national final. I must face him.
Then I'll be there. Not as a student, as your partner. Whatever comes, we face it together.
She shouldn't be dragged into my grave, but without her, the style dies with me, and Grandpa's legacy.
They walked back into the light together, a boy marked for death, and a princess who refused to let him face it alone. That night, in his dorm room, Daiki's phone buzzed. The sender was unknown. The message read, "Daiki, I am Tomoya. I will be your opponent in the national final. I banned Mirror Reed 40 years ago. I know its curse intimately, but I can remove it if you forfeit the final and never use the style again."
Forfeit. Then Mirror Reed dies with me. Grandpa's legacy. Erased.
The message ended. You have 24 hours. Choose.
He's giving me an out, a way to live. But the style? All those pages I've memorized.
Daiki clutched the notebook, its worn cover pressing against his heart. He felt the cold pulse beneath his ribs.
Live without Mirror Reed, or die proving it was never a curse but a gift.
The clock on his desk ticked. 24 hours to decide the fate of 2 lifetimes. The national stadium roared with 80,000 voices. On the field, Daiki stood alone, his hands trembling at his sides. Then silence fell, a suffocating hush. A single figure emerged from the tunnel, an old man in black and red robes, cane tapping.
My name is Tomoya. 40 years ago, I banned Mirror Reed because it killed my own brother. You, Daiki Hoshino, have been bleeding your life into every match. The same Reaper that took my brother is inside you.
He raised a hand. Above the field, a ghostly projection shimmered, Grandpa Satoshi fading into white dust.
You've used 437 techniques. The limit is 1,000. At your current rate, you have months, perhaps weeks.
437. I never kept count. But every stab of cold, every drop of blood, it fits.
He's not exaggerating. The archives confirm the count. Daiki is already past the halfway mark.
Tomoya stepped forward, his presence pressing down like a weight. Daiki's body screamed for retreat, but his feet held.
Now, Daiki, you stand before me. Will you die for a dead style, or will you listen? Listen, boy, 1,000 techniques and the body shuts down. Your count is now 487.
Daiki's mind raced through every training session, every duel, every tournament move. The tally was precise.
This sealed scroll contains the counterform. Accept it, and the curse unravels. But you forfeit Mirror Reed forever.
A memory pierced through the chaos. Grandpa laughing in a sunlit garden, passing a worn ball to a young Daiki.
Grandpa, were you trapped? Did you smile to hide the pain?
Daiki, please. That's not a gift. It's a chain he couldn't break. Take the scroll.
Your grandfather never found the courage to let go. Don't make his mistake.
A curse that killed my grandpa's joy. But it also gave me the only strength I ever had.
The notebook in his blazer felt heavier than ever, as if Grandpa's last breath was pressed into its pages. The entire stadium waited. Daiki's hand trembled at his side, inches from a decision that number 17-year-old should ever have to make. A streak of white gold cut across the pitch. Kotone vaulted the barrier and ran, her ponytail streaming behind.
Daiki, live. Don't let that cursed style take you too.
The football slipped from Daiki's fingers, bouncing once, twice, then rolling to a stop near the center line. He stepped forward, each footfall heavier than the last, toward the man who had buried his family's legacy. Daiki dropped to his knees before Tomoya, head bowed, the sealed scroll inches from his face.
I renounce Mirror Reed. Take the curse. Just let me live long enough to teach something that doesn't kill.
You are wiser than your grandfather. The counterform begins now.
The stadium fell into absolute silence, the kind born only of 80,000 held breaths.
He chose life. Thank every star he chose to live.
Tomoya raised the scroll. The air around them shimmered, ready to unravel a lifetime of stolen hours. Tomoya's fingers tore the wax seal. Golden light erupted from the scroll, swallowing the field. He placed his palm on Daiki's forehead. Daiki's body arched backward, veins of black and blue rising to the surface. Spectral tendrils, blue and cold, were wrenched from his chest and limbs, coiling upward like dying serpents.
That's centuries of stolen time leaving him. Hold on, Daiki.
Daiki screamed, a raw, guttural sound that cut through the silence, and then went limp as the last wisp of Mirror Reed evaporated. Kotone lunged forward, catching him before his head hit the grass. The black veins were gone.
The curse is gone. Mirror Reed is no more.
My chest. It's warm. The cold is truly gone. But the notebook, it feels like a stranger now.
You are alive. That's all that matters. We'll find a new way together.
Daiki closed his eyes. The Mirror Reed's ghost had been exorcised, but the hole it left behind was vast.
You are still here, after everything I put you through.
Of course, I told you we'd face it together. And I never break a promise.
Tomoya turned away, a single tear tracing a path through the wrinkles on his cheek. He disappeared into the darkness of the tunnel, his cane steady, but his shoulders finally giving in to 40 years of grief.
Kotone, I'll teach you a new style, one that honors life instead of stealing it.
Then we'll build it together. Every moment you have, I'll be here, your partner.
She helped him stand. They locked fingers like a vow. They left the football abandoned on the grass, a relic of a cursed age.
Grandpa, the real gift wasn't the style. It was the strength to let it go.
Hand in hand, they walked into the tunnel, leaving the silent stadium behind. Months later, Daiki's world had shrunk to a wheelchair and a coffee table littered with new diagrams. He and Kotone had deconstructed the philosophy, mapping safe biomechanics from the old Mirror Reed forms. On the field, Kotone practiced the core flow, a sequence that breathed outward instead of clawing inward.
You've surpassed me. The style is no longer mine.
No, I am just your extension. Every movement still carries your heartbeat.
His gray eyes, once steeled by the curse, had softened into quiet pride.
I'll be the vessel for a style that gives life instead of taking it.
The unnamed style was nearly complete, built on the reed's bend without its snap.
Just a little longer, until she can bloom on her own.
He could feel the days slipping, but the new style would breathe long after he was gone. Kotone registered for a provincial tournament under a new style flag. The officials raised eyebrows, but allowed it. She opened with the core flow, a sequence that looked like a breeze, not a storm. Her opponent lunged and found empty air.
This is for you, Daiki. Every movement a promise.
She slipped the ball past two defenders with a soft weave, then nudged it into the net. The crowd erupted. She turned immediately to the sideline, searching. Daiki sat in his wheelchair, wrapped in a blanket.
I saw it. It's perfect.
He raised a trembling hand, a thumbs up. The effort cost him, and a dry cough rattled his frame.
It's working. The style lives without killing.
Kotone returned to the pitch, The new style had its first public victory. Clean, fluid, and alive, Daiki watched the celebration, the noise distant. He nodded weakly and closed his eyes, utterly at peace. After the crowd dispersed, Kotone wheeled Daiki beneath a cherry tree heavy with petals.
This notebook, it's full now. The new style, the theories, it belongs to you.
She took it, her fingers trembling. The cover was warm from his grip.
Make it bloom, Kotone. Teach everyone who's willing to learn. Let it never become a curse again.
I will. I'll teach it to the world. Your name and your grandfather's will live in every movement.
Above them, a faint sepia shimmer. Grandpa's spirit, translucent and smiling, nodded once.
He's been watching all along. Now, he can finally rest.
Kotone pressed the notebook against her heart. She felt it, a new pulse, free of poison.
I am tired but happy. You'll be fine now.
He let his eyes close, the cherry blossoms drifting. The notebook was where it belonged, and so was he. Kotone returned from a short walk to the cherry tree. Daiki hadn't moved. The silence had deepened. A weathered photo of Grandpa Satoshi lay on the grass, slipped from his motionless hand. She knelt beside the wheelchair and gently touched his face. It was cool, but his expression was nothing but peace.
Daiki, you left just like you promised, quietly and without pain.
She picked up the photo and placed it back in his hand, folding his fingers over it like a final gift. Then she lifted the notebook. His soul poured onto paper and clutched it against her heart.
I promise. This style will bloom across every field, and it will save, never take.
Overhead, a faint sepia shimmer. Grandpa's spirit placed a transparent hand on her shoulder and nodded. She stayed there until the petals covered his lap like a blanket, then stood with the notebook, ready to walk forward. Daiki Hoshino had returned the mirror reed to its grave and planted a new seed that would never thirst for blood. A year later, spring petals fell on a simple headstone. Kotone knelt there, her white gold gi dusted with earth. She placed a handmade ball, stitched from worn leather, against the stone.
Daiki, the style is safe. Children at the academy play it without fear.
She lifted a national championship medal from her neck and looped it over the headstone.
We won. Not with a curse, but with your breath in every movement.
A faint sepia glow flickered beside her. Grandpa's spirit, transparent and silent, one hand over his heart. She stayed a moment longer, then rose, notebook in hand, her promise fulfilled. The path ahead wound toward the academy, where a new generation waited. She did not look back. The seed had taken root. Somewhere, Daiki's quiet smile lingered in the wind. Years later, in a dusty corner of the academy library, a young boy searching for heroes found a forgotten notebook. Its leather cracked. Its cover bore the violently crossed-out mirror, read and underneath, in elegant script, "Read Reborn." He lifted it. Curiosity flickered. The first page held only a single sentence, written long ago, "For those who dare to bend without breaking." He read it twice, then smiled, a quiet, knowing smile, and closed the cover with reverence, tucking the worn notebook under his arm. The title, "Read, Reborn," caught the sunlight. Behind him, the empty shelf caught a beam of light, dust swirling like forgotten stars. He walked away, footsteps echoing in the silent archive. A new chapter waiting, and somewhere, the first sentence of the notebook seemed to glow in memory. For those who dare to bend without breaking. The screen slowly turned to white.